What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you guys a short story, so roll that intro. Alright guys, you guys know that I love sharing stories and the things that happen to me on the daily. Clearly you guys can see that on my moto vlogs. But this is actually something a little bit different, and this is a little bit personal to me. It's just kind of a hobby that I really enjoy doing, and I want to share this with you guys. My buddy Chad across the street, the guy from about 3 videos ago, Chad Simeon. Congratulations, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. Simeon, on your marriage. That's fantastic. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the video. It means a lot to me, it really does. Anyhow, Chad comes over here and tells me, he said, hey, I got a friend that actually wants to add some lights to his bike. Would you be able to do it? And I said, you know what? I got plenty of time. Sure, bring it on over. Let's check it out. So I didn't expect him to bring it over so soon, but he did. About maybe 30 minutes later or so, brings it up here, and I'll show you guys the bike that he brought. Tell you what, guys, I sure hope you guys enjoyed that part as much as I did, and especially making it. But let me show you the hardware that he wants me to add into this bike, because this thing is going to be so sick when I'm done with it. I'm really OCD about the work that I do on LEDs. Installing light kits on cars, trucks, boats, especially motorcycles, is probably one of the best hobbies that I've really picked up. I know it doesn't seem like a hobby, but I'm really OCD about the stuff, and I don't like seeing the bulbs. I like, where it looks professional, it looks good, and I promise you, this bike is going to look sick when I'm done with it. So let's check out the hardware that I have set up for it. Now, this is pretty much rather complex yet very simple system to put in. He's got the USB charger like I have on my bike, but he wants this one connected to the fairings up front. He also has lights that are back here that will connect to the actual license plate, but they're bolts that shine down on the actual license plate itself. And then here, all these pods, which I think are really cool looking. I don't know 100% of the quality, focus, there you go, of the quality of these, but if I keep this layout set up on the actual frame of the bike, this would be toward the tail, this would be toward the nose. I'll be able to utilize all of the lights in this package, but I won't have to use all of the wires. I sat down for about a good 10-15 minutes just getting an idea of where everything's going to go. Like, the battery would be here, and it connects with this, it connects with the antenna, and then the actual module itself that tells the lights to turn on and off, and then cycle through through all the functions, which in this kit actually has quite a few. But this will go back toward the tail of the bike license plate, and then it'll ride this jumper all the way back to where the engine's at, and then it's going to fire up underneath where the nose and the front wheel are, and then back around, and then dead end over here over by the actual shifter of the bike. So frankly, it's a pretty simple layout. I mean, it looks complicated when you look at it right here. It's scary when you open it up out of the box and it's just a cluster of stuff. You have no idea. But whenever you lay your project out before you, it doesn't have to be on a table. You can even put it on the carpet. It doesn't matter. But if you do this, it'll actually help you organize the installation on the bike that you've got. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the installation. Alright, y'all, so before you ever get started, aside of just getting all your wires all laid out, before you get started on this, the first thing you need to decide is, where are you going to put the lights at? On that bike, the naked bike, it's rather difficult hiding all the wires and all the pods and stuff for that. Because it's naked, I don't have fairings to hide the light pods. However, that's a different story whenever it comes to full fairing bikes. You see, on these fairing bikes, there's so many places to hide it. I've seen poor installations, and I've seen amazing installations. I do not like seeing the light bulbs themselves at all, whether they're on or not. I don't like being able to see them. Concealment makes the bike so much sexier, makes it look so much better. So what I'm going to do right now is kind of go through and just do a little walkthrough of where I think I should put some lights, and then I'm going to kind of pull away at the fairings. I think there's like a couple rubber grommet that you can just pull out from it, but I'm not going to have to pull the fairing completely free from the bike, which is good. So let's get started. There's going to be 2 bolts that are going to go here. For this, I'll probably put it just offset. I'm not going to put it on the black. I'm going to put it just on the inside. This is called the battery tray. Okay. And this here, I'll probably put it directly behind the license plate, because if you put it directly behind the license plate, if you're driving behind him, you can't see the LEDs. Therefore, he's not going to get in trouble. He won't get pulled over, which, if I'm not mistaken, the guy that owns this, he's a cop, so I really don't think it's going to matter much. But anyway, yeah, the way the lights are going to be mounted, I'm going to have one here on the battery tray, and one on the opposite side, which would be right here on the battery tray. I don't ever want to put anything around the chain. I know some folks, they like to tuck it up inside by this swing arm on the inside, but in the event, let's say the tape or adhesive pops off and it falls on that chain, then you got something bouncing on that chain, and then it throws it into the engine, and I don't want to be responsible for anything going wrong or going bad on some of these bikes. Not to mention, I see some people, they like to tuck the lights up under here and light and shine it down. Problem with that, yeah, you get dirt and stuff. You might as well be sandblasting and chewing away at that light, and it's not going to work right. All right, now here's where it gets tricky and fun. All right, on these brackets, it looks like he's got rubber grommet. I can pull away at these. Yeah. So I'll end up pulling these away. I'll pop off the bolts that are holding it on. There's also clips down below. It's possible to mess with those. I want to try to keep the lights themselves away from the exhaust or anything that's going to get those things really hot, causing them to malfunction later on. So my objective is to keep them, it's a key, around the cooling system if possible. So probably on the inside lip. Yeah, on the inside lip, see a big open gap? Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Probably one just behind here. This is a flat area. This will shine in on the engine. So that's 1, that's 2. And then the one up front, and mind you, I'm doing everything symmetrical. You want to have the light as high up inside here as you can, shining down on the fender, up on the tire, if possible. Or shining up if possible. I mean, I probably could put it here, but that's on fiberglass. I don't know how well that's going to work. I highly doubt that's going to work well. So most likely up here. I'm going to stick it on the bottom of this. And it looks like that is available on both sides. So while you're cruising down the road, you ain't going to be able to see that light at all. So that is pretty much where I have it. I've seen them where they put them on the inside. of this little fairing thing. Again, you got brake dust that comes around, and it could cake it. Not to mention, you got the shocks moving back and forth. That's wires moving. And in case you hadn't noticed, if you move wires back and forth a lot, they tend to fray and break, and then fail. I am not about failure whenever it comes to this. I like perfection. So I think I already have an idea of where I'm going to mount everything. So let's go ahead and test those lights out. Then I'll start taking things apart on here. Let's see, he has a lock he's waiting for, so that's why he's got this little zip tie holding on to it. But yes, I mean there's even space in here to run wires, and it's not going to affect it. It's not going to hurt nothing. It's fantastic. I need to take this seat off to get to the battery, because this is going to be the center of all of my wiring. I've already strung the wires out from nose to tail, and the one wire itself goes all the way from one end of the bike to the other. So I've got plenty of I got plenty of wire for this bike, so I can run the wires up inside the frame underneath this tank. He left the tank pretty empty, so that's good. If I have to raise it up, I can. That'll be fantastic. It'll help me run those wires up and fish it through the frame, so that whenever I'm done, you can't even tell that there's a light kit on this bike. You will not know it has one. Like mine, you'll have to look for it. You can't tell that it has it on there. Same thing for this. So folks, I did a little bit of tinkering. I hooked up the battery to my power drill, and it looks like all of the lights themselves are turning on. It's red. Apparently you can change to different functions, and then yeah, not bad. Okay, well, since that is a working setup, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and install them on the bike. Okay folks, well, I finally got all the fairings and stuff all pretty much pulled away from the frame. Got the tank lifted up so I can run all the wires through the frame without any issues. I wiped down some of the contact spots up on here where I'm going to actually mount the light bulbs. The wires that were up under here, they were all hanging down. I got those all tucked up in a way so that I can actually mount the light bulb. See how it's a little bit cleaner right here? Right there. So that light will shine downward. So I mean, I got the fairings pretty much just pulled away. That's all I needed, frankly. So I'm gonna go inside and grab the very first set of lights and start mounting them. folks. Well, as you guys can clearly see in that last part of the clip, it started getting kind of late on me. It was right about 11 o'clock, and I had to work the very next day. So I went ahead and I wrapped up everything, put it all back together. The lights are mounted. They're good. I think you were able to see them actually turn on. That was just when you putting the wires on there and just touching them. They're not like clamped down, which they will be momentarily. The only thing left to do now is actually take off this tail section, and I am going to work on all the wiring here because this kit reacts with the actual brake light system on the bike. Whenever you actually hit the brakes, all the lights, regardless of what light pattern is flashing, all the lights all turn red, so he becomes one giant brake light. That's pretty much what happens. Instead of just a brake light, all the lights on the bike turn red, so that's good. It's really cool. So I'm going to tap into that with the T-tap, most likely. And then just plug in the rest, and it should be good to go by then. But I looked under here, and there's metal bars under here that they feel kind of sharp to me. So again, that's another reason why I'm taking this off, is I need to see what's underneath that and see if there's anything that I can fix, or if I need to fix. I don't need any sharp edges that might cut wires while riding, because these bikes, they're prone to vibration, and if that wire is rubbing up against an edge, well, it's going to end up cutting a wire, and then he's going to lose his lights, and then it'll look like a poor install to me. I can't have that. So anyway, let me go ahead and take off the tail. Terry, he's going to be over here pretty soon, so let me go ahead and take off the tail real quick. Alright, this morning before I left to go to work, I actually went ahead and I pulled out the plastic screws from here and the two bolts that were holding on the tail section, and right away I was able to tell these are really sharp edges, and that is, in my opinion, very unacceptable. I can't have that. Because, I mean, if he were to reach in here for tools or something, that right there, that'll cut into his arm. And anybody here, you reach in there, and that'll slice you open. So I'm going to take the grinder to that, kind of round it off. It'll still work just fine, but I'm gonna do that. I went ahead and I disconnected the brake lights and the push pins up here. So the only thing I have left to do is these the rubber notches. You just pull it away about an inch, and then the whole tail section should just slide right off. So let's go ahead and do that. I got it semi-separated. Oh, I'm gonna have to catch that. All right, 1, 2, and then part it. It should slide right off. I've already disconnected just the brake light because it was just that harness. There's only one plug and it joins together. What else? Oh, other things I'm going to point out. See, now while I was going through his bike, I'm always looking through little details, and he has this as a small problem. This is the clutch handle. Okay, it's the clutch handle kill switch. All right. Now without it, I don't have the keys, but if this just happens to pop off and he's trying to start the bike, it won't start. It'll just click. It won't even click. It'll just turn on, and you can push that start button all you want. It'll never fire up. But it's a very common problem for Suzukis, as far as I know. But these terminals look like they're in really rough shape. But you plug this up like it's so, if I can get it to plug in. Come on, work with me. I'm gonna have to tinker with it. But once you plug it in, the bike fires up and you're good to go. I also let them know that the screws that are in the back over here, there we go, these right here, key point, right, dark. That one, where my finger's at, that one is actually fairly rounded off on the inside. It keeps spinning inside here. I've already talked to Terry, and he said he's got replacement mirrors in the mail, so those should be here pretty soon. So I don't know if he wants me to change those out or if he's going to. I'll talk with him about it. The other thing that I caught was, okay, the throttle, yeah, it moves, it's fine, but so does this. That's not supposed to happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tear into this and probably break that open and see if there should be a plastic notch. It's almost the same thing as what I have on my bike, and there should be a small hole in the actual metal bar itself. That notch, the notch of this fits down in that hole, and it prevents this from moving anywhere. So whenever you go to crank on this, well, all your cables don't follow you, and you don't get to accelerate right. So that's dangerous, in my opinion, because I mean, if you were to let this go, and this is still way back here, who knows? Your bike's gonna think, oh, we're still moving, or you may let it go and it may just, you know, fall on its face. Who knows? Just, it needs to be stationary. He has a new gas cap in the mail. It should be coming. I think he told me that it's jet black or all gloss black, so that's gonna be cool looking. What other things did I spot? Oh yeah. There, you can just tell somebody just threw that together. But this tail section is actually off of another Gixxer, but of a different year model. So it's actually an inch shorter than the actual tail section, or vice versa. But it wasn't sized up right, so somebody just put, you know, thin metal here and then said, there's your bracket. So that's not cool with me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a line here, and I'm gonna shave all this off, round it off, and smooth it out so that he's able to mount that without cutting himself. And then what else? Oh yeah, that and his brakes. I always look at these things too. You guys can see, there you go. See, he's got very little brake pad left. Let me zoom in. I mean, he's got meat left on it still, but I would highly recommend that he gets it changed. So, but I told him I was going to look over the bike from nose to tail and let him know what I found. And if he doesn't mind, I would like to go through it, and if it's possible, I'll fix it while it's here so that, you know, he's back on the road without any issues. So, fingers crossed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and now the finished product. Check this out.
Devil in a red dress, call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress, call 911.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is going to be a wrap for today's video. I sure hope you guys enjoyed the content of this video as much as I had making it. If you guys happen to like the content of this video, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit your post notification bell up there in the top right hand corner of your screen. Feel free to check out my Teespring page down in the description down below. And if you guys want to be a patron, I do have a Patreon page all set up, so go ahead and visit that. And I believe that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Until the next one, I'll see you later. Good night.